So, welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. On this channel, we talk about all things video games, comic books, movies, anime, and more. So if you're somebody that's interested in any of those things, definitely consider subscribing so you don't miss an episode like this. So my name's Arnell, and this is my wife, Kate, and today we wanted to talk about a really special anime that we both really enjoyed, and that is Death Note. And yes, we did buy the complete series on Blu-ray. We definitely enjoyed it. It's a really good anime. So a quick recap of what the story is without any spoilers. A high schooler actually stumbles upon a notebook called the Death Note, and basically if you write somebody's name in it, that person will die. And it's a very simple premise, but it's just an extremely intriguing show because there's pretty much the best way to describe it is it's a cat and mouse game between the high schooler, the main character, and pretty much the FBI, a big head of the FBI that's actually tracking down who this mysterious killer is because he's trying to hide his identity. At the end of the day, he's just a high school student. And so again, it's just a really intriguing game of cat and mouse that if you are somebody that's interested in anything intellectually based, anything that's suspenseful, this is the type of anime that you will heavily enjoy.
I definitely loved the story, and I loved the difference between the high school student and the agent that was trying to discover who had the Death Note. It was their intellects were very matched, and they were like the same person on different sides of a coin, and it was very, very interesting. As one of my first animes, pretty much outside of Dragon Ball, it was pretty interesting, and I really liked it, captivating.
Yeah, I mean, like she said, it's really intriguing how basically the main character, Light, and one of the main sort of antagonists, but also is kind of a good guy because he's with the FBI, his name was L, and basically between the two of them, they were very intellectually matched. And it was just a game of chess, a game of cat and mouse, and the second that Light would, think that he's ahead, L would be 2 steps ahead of him, and the second that L would think he's ahead, Light would be 2 steps ahead of him. So it was just really, really fascinating just seeing the two of them basically just play this game, and you're just there to watch, and it's a blast. Yeah, so talking about some things that we do like.
I definitely, the first watching the show, when you're introduced to the high schooler Light and you're introduced to his family, they just seem like a normal, everyday family, which is just really relatable for a lot of people. It's just a kid going to high school. On top of the family with Light, I really liked later on in the show, he gets a girlfriend named Misa. That's not too much of a spoiler, but she is very sweet and she's very cute and kind, and I just really liked her very bubbly personality, and she doesn't always dress that way. A lot of times she wears like a lot of black clothes and everything, but she's just sweet and kind and really cares about Light, which is really just a nice dynamic that they, well, not a nice dynamic that they have, but just she's very sweet.
Yeah, a little bit more on the dynamic later, but yeah, I definitely liked Misa. She kind of starts off seeming like she might be an annoying character, or you might get a certain perception of her, but she's actually throughout she's in the show for quite a while, and without any spoilers, she's there for a little bit longer than you might think, and she's actually a character that you will learn to really like and develop just a strong bond with her, seeing her on the screen there.
I really liked that Light with this Death Note is he was very he thought through each step of what he needed to do to be able to get what he thought his job was done. He thought that he was given this notebook and he was the best person for it. He wrote a name down and that person would die. And he took it very seriously, and he went through extensive steps for protecting his identity because he knew that some of the best people in the world were trying to figure out who he was. So I thought that was really awesome how they showed us all the different things that, like, in his thought process going through how he was going to protect that. There's a character that I did really not like in the beginning. His name was Ryuk, and he was not my favorite when he first came on the screen.
He wasn't my favorite either. It was really weird, and
I remember looking at him and saying, do I have to look at his face the whole show? Like, yeah. That's and when you watch it, you'll be able to know what we're talking about. If you've already watched it, then you'll also know. But I developed a really strong love for his goofy personality. And one of his things is that he is not from like our world, and he really likes the apples. and he has these funny withdrawal syndromes when he doesn't get to eat his apples. And so I was cracking up watching it with Arnell, and I just thought it was one of the funniest parts of the movie, the TV series, because there's not a whole lot of funny parts, and he definitely brought that to it.
Similar to Misa, where you spend a lot more time with him than you think that you might, and you might develop certain perceptions of what you think he might be in the beginning, but definitely as time goes on, you'll definitely learn to appreciate lots of different aspects about Ryuk as well.
Yeah, and there was a period in the show where we didn't see him as much, and I just remember thinking, I miss Ryuk. Like, when are we going to see him again? So I didn't think when I watched the first couple episodes that would be my thoughts closer to the end, but it was.
Yeah, no, it was fascinating, yeah.
Talking about the person who was working with the FBI named L, he was very, very committed to his job, very thorough, just about as equal as Light was committed to his job protecting the Death Note. But I really, really liked Light because he was just a very dedicated to his work, and he was very good, very, very good at what he did. So he was a very cute little character.
Yeah.
Guy.
Yeah, no, L is a very, very fascinating character, and definitely one character that probably to me is the most memorable character out of the entire series, just because of just all of his quirks, his mannerisms, his way of speaking, his way of thinking. Just truly a fascinating person.
And he likes to eat sweets all the time, which is always fun. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and as far as stuff that I liked, I mean, definitely everything that Kate mentioned as well. I really enjoyed the animation of it. This is an older anime, I think around like 2006, 2008 or so, maybe even older than that, I'm not sure. But the animation was just, really cleanly drawn, really smooth animation. It felt like a show that just came out last week, with just how smooth and how well it looked. So it was really polished, and the animators did a really good job just really bringing these characters to life in their movements. And I really enjoyed the music as well. The intro songs are both great. There's 2 intro songs.
Oh yeah.
And
I forgot about the music.
Yeah, and just even the suspenseful music when they're playing their cat and mouse game, and the action-packed music when the rare instances that there's actually action in the show, which you would think is a downside, that there's not a whole lot of action. But that's actually a good thing, because again, this is a different type of anime. This isn't the type of anime where people are going Super Saiyan and all that kind of stuff. This is a very intellectually based anime, which is great, but it has just the right amount of action in it, and so the music really fits in the sparing moments that there is action. Now, this anime isn't perfect. There are some things that we just didn't really enjoy, and I will actually let Kate go ahead and start off with some of the things that she didn't really enjoy. There were definitely a whole lot of things that we loved, but again, this isn't the perfect anime, and there's a couple of things that we wanted to talk about.
Yes, so the main thing that really rubbed me the wrong way pretty much throughout the entirety of the show was Misa and Light's relationship. Like I said, Misa is very sweet, and Light was a cool character on his own, but she was just head over heels in love with him, and she would do anything he asked, and he took advantage to that a lot. So that was one thing that really rubbed me the wrong way during the whole series. And one other thing, his dad is very involved throughout the plot line, directly involved with Light. And I don't want to say too much, but there was a lot of stuff and emotional turmoil, I guess you'd say, that his dad went through. And I just think that it was hard as a parent, seeing a parent go through emotional turmoil. As a parent, seeing another parent go through a bunch of emotional turmoil is just hard, and you don't want to see them go through that. And he genuinely was a very caring father, and he cared a lot about his work as well, and the people who worked with him. So that was a hard thing to see.
And there is a lot of heart to this show. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of things that are going on, despite the heartless action of just writing somebody's name in a notebook and killing them. There's actually a lot of things which again is something that I really liked. There was just a lot of things to help this world feel real. But one thing that I didn't like, that did not feel real at all, was at the very end, again with no spoilers, basically somebody finds something out about one of the main characters and basically catches them. And it just, the whole sequence of this main character getting caught by this completely unrelated person just felt a bit rushed to me, and just really convenient with just how everything just kind of fell into place, and a lot of assumptions were made. And if you've watched the show, you know what I'm talking about. Again, I don't want to give any spoilers, but it's just, it all felt a little bit too convenient of just how quickly things just fell into place. So apart from that though, I would say that this anime is honestly great. And who would you say that this anime is good for?
I thought it was great. It was a little bit shocking, the idea of a notebook that you wrote somebody's name in and they died at first, but then you get really emotionally attached to the people and their storylines. So I don't know, I think it'd be open to anybody who's looking for something a little bit different or something new. Like, they're just looking for a new show, and if you're open to it, I think you'd really like it.
Yeah, yep, and definitely, you know, like she said, she's fairly new to anime. We're actually going through Dragon Ball Z right now. We watched Dragon Ball Super, parts of Dragon Ball, the original, and parts of GT as well. And we're also, you know, just looking into other anime too. Next that we're going to be watching is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, so I'm really excited about that. Might even do a video on that, who knows. But definitely, I would say that it's probably a better anime for somebody that isn't new to anime. Maybe you've seen some other, you know, big titles, maybe Attack on Titan, some, you know, other big animes that are going on, One Piece, Naruto, that kind of stuff, and you're just wanting something a little bit different than the action-packed animes, then I would definitely say that this is great. But if you're somebody that's brand new to anime, this is your first experience to it, I would say definitely not. Just because, for one, it's a slower paced anime, even though it's very suspenseful at times. It's very slow in comparison to your action-packed ones. And also, it can be a little bit graphic for some people, that it might be a brand new anime for them. And so just because of that, you know, I'd recommend this as just somebody that is not necessarily new to anime, but is just looking for something a little bit different than the norm of what they have been watching.
Yeah, and it's not super long, which is great.
Yeah, 37, 38 episodes, somewhere around there. Yeah,
it's not like with Dragon Ball Z, where it's like we've already watched what feels like a whole, you know.
I think we're on like episode 85, and Goku and Frieza are just fighting for the first time.
Oh, yeah, don't even get me started. But, but yeah, so it's shorter, so it's easier to get through if you're familiar with animes.
So yeah, anyways, we just wanted to hop on here and talk about our experience with Death Note, and we hope that you like this video. Definitely drop a comment down below. Let us know what you think about Death Note, if you have watched it, or if you're somebody that is a little bit apprehensive to it. Let us know. We're happy to have a conversation with you, and until next time, peace.